Hi, Holly. How are you? How is everyone filing in and watching the replay? It's going good. I'm feeling a little tired. I did a bunch of work on my website today, which, when I say I did a bunch of work, I actually did, but there's not a whole lot of, proof in the pudding. There's a lot of back end stuff that I was doing and fixing and changing. So, yeah, it's been when you just sit there on the computer quiet like for hours, kind of like makes you tired. So yeah. Hey Ben. Hi Susan. Let me thank you. Computer? Okay. I did an update today, so we'll see if that. Hi Sue. How are you, darling? Nice to see you. Okay, just making sure I didn't miss greeting anybody. Oh, my nose is tickly. Must be the springing around here, but we're supposed to get even more rain in a few days, which I'm excited about. We need more rain. Hi Anna. Um, we didn't get a whole lot of snowfall this year, so I'm welcoming as much rain that wants to fall. Fill her up. Hi Kara. Always watching the replay nowadays. I get it. It's not easy to, you know, be there every single day for something at certain times. I get it. I'm really good with schedules to a degree. It's really weird because I have so much Capricorn, right? I got that Capricorn stellium and my Virgo rising, but then I have the Pisces moon, and that just throws a big old monkey wrench in the gears. So, hey Matt, how you doing, love? Your best friend's sister passed away Sunday night. Can we send her and her family healing energy? Absolutely, Ben. Calling all healers, if you would please help us send healing to um, Ben's friend and family. That would be amazing. Sending all the love, Ben. Yeah, we need rain too. It's been dry, y'all. Global warming. You know, all of that facade and stuff. That's all right. I just thought about doing a rain dance the other day and it rained, so I'm gonna get out there and shake my booty to the rain gods and see what kind of rainfall we can make happen, huh? Bring a whole new meaning to make it rain. Oh, her name is Rosie. Okay, we'll definitely send Rosie lots of love and healing energies. Um, Transition is difficult, always on the family and loved ones. So we'll go ahead and call for Archangel Azrael to be of assistance there. That is the energy of transition. Um, so, yes. You got rain this morning and now you got sunshine. We did too. We had a little bit of rain overnight and then it's been cloudy most of the day, but we've got sunshine right now. You're sunburnt. Oh no. Use some half vinegar, half water, and soak some rags in it and then put it on your sunburn. It'll help take the heat out of it and help it to heal quicker. Rain dance. Yes, do it. The twins even made little rain sticks at school. So we have rain sticks. I'll get the kids outside and we'll do a big old rain dance. They go with it now. They don't fight it anymore. They used to get embarrassed when I would start dancing. I don't know why, but they used to get like start hiding their face and stuff, but now they'll come in and get down right there with me. So, hey Sonia, love you, darling. All right, let's see what we got for a reading today. Mami Wata. on the bottom of the deck, y'all. She's showing out. Oh, and I finally came up with a name for my hypnosis method, and it's not going to be a surprise to anyone. It's on my website already, but I'm going to make a post introducing my services for that particular method. So yeah, it's nice. Okay. Hey, Dallas, how are you? Nice to see you. Douche yourself, madam. Douche yourself with vinegar and water. What a beautiful experience today. Walking with my eyes closed, meditation walking. It was so great. Highly recommend just walking with your eyes closed in an open space. Yeah, be mindful of your footing, because if you're anything like me, you will find the hole in the level field, the one hole, and you will go in it. That happens with my ankles. Like I'll just hit just even the slightest little pebble, okay, and my ankle will roll. It's actually tied to ADHD. Like that's a symptom that can happen with ADHD. So I was like, oh, it makes so much sense. All the things. They were beautiful pictures. Or the one I saw. Did I see more? I don't know. I was doing a lot today, like visually messing with my website and pictures. And I went on Facebook and tried to like scroll through the feed a little bit to try to keep up with you guys. And I've been trying to post, trying to keep my foot in there. So I honestly don't know. There's so many different people in my news feed. Hey, Catherine. How are you, love? I'm so glad you had such a beautiful experience. I can definitely tell, like, you're, like, more vibrant, you know? You didn't fall, you're a pro on your feet. That's nice. Not all of us are, Matt. Maybe I'll get one of the sticks. What are they called? The guiding sticks for blind people, and meditate, walk with my eyes closed with that stick so that I can make sure that I don't fall into a hole. Oh, it was warm. Nice. That's awesome. 28 degrees Celsius for all of us US folks, which is, wouldn't that be 60 degrees Fahrenheit? I don't know. I'm not certain. I may know, but I'm not certain. Okay, so if anyone knows Celsius to Fahrenheit, then feel free to insert here. If Steph was here, he would let us know because he knows the difference. He knows how many degrees. All right, let's see what we got. Ooh. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Okay, but okay. Okay. You had a wonderful time. You may move. Oh, that would be awesome. Walking and hiking. That's right. I have my staff that Jay made me. I can use that. It's in the 80s. Is it really, Danielle? Are you talking about in Celsius to Fahrenheit, or are you talking about temperature in California? I imagine it's much higher than the 80s there. Nice to see your gorgeous face, darling. All right, let's see what the hell we have going on here. About 60-ish degrees. Okay. I don't know. I'm not certain. I believe so. All right, we have, It's going to start off a little bumpy, guys, but it's going to be okay. All right. Yes. My staff is so awesome. I love it. Jay made a good one. We have the moon card showing up. Revelations, I heard. Um, Celsius to Fahrenheit makes it like 80. Okay. I bet it would be awesome to walk with your eyes closed if you're sure on your feet. Like me, I have sometimes a hard time navigating the terrain of this plane, you know? It's so dense here and so heavy. So you tall, wispy folks don't have to worry about that, but I feel like I'm constantly squished by gravity. I know all my short peeps know exactly what I'm talking about too. So revelations, things surfacing, epiphanies, I heard. And this could be epiphanies like, aye, mommy like it rough, right? 82.4. Wow. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Danielle. So moon card, also, water on this card, and that's why it was no surprise that Mommy Wata is showing up also for us. We'll get to her in a second. This is emotions, maybe past emotions surfacing. I was literally just talking to Kara about this like half an hour ago. I was talking about what the situation that happened medically with my daughter last week, and how yes, it was frustrating. It really sucked not being able to just be able to reach out and find out how she was doing. Nobody notified me. And I was like, it's not surprising, but yes, it was frustrating. I definitely did check up on her because moms have their ways, but the fact that I'm being gate kept from my own daughter by her significant other is really enraging. Okay. It enrages me. I am not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I feel pure rage over that. And I know that there is nothing that I can do that will make the situation any better by acting on that or acting impulsively or reaching out to whatever. So I'm keeping peace by stepping back, giving her the respect and the space because she is now legally an adult, so I have to respect that. But it is infuriating. I feel very enraged when it comes to that topic right now. So I'm having these past emotions surface so that I can rebalance, so that I can regulate. We're all having tests and things right now. Sorry, my comments were not like scrolling, so it was on the same comment, and I see them pop over here. So I don't know when I'm talking to you guys if you guys are commenting, and I have to check the other screen. So yeah, just said to my mother that I thought it was the girlfriend causing the issue. Yes. Yeah. So I am having to come to grips with the very real fact that my child is now an adult, has her own thoughts, emotions, whether they're her own or not, right? She has those. She's entertaining those ones right now, and that's what she's choosing. So there's nothing that I can do that will cause anything good to come out of the situation. And I absolutely will not be the one to cause my daughter's health to be in detriment just to say something snatchy. So I am having to just take a chill pill and let the fucking pieces fall where they may. But it's not comfortable, and I'm having to kind of let off steam throughout the day, like little tiny things. I've been dropping stuff, and it's like like you just want to scream. It's those little things that are triggering me right now, and like I've been like, we got home from picking up the kids from school today, and just little tiny things just irking me, people driving, that kind of thing. So I get home and the boys are starting to bicker, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to hear it. I want you guys to stop arguing. Don't even start. Okay. I'm going to go in my room and I'm going to chill because I'm overstimulated and I need to balance myself. And they were like, okay. And they were good. So I communicated to them, like, I need some time. I'm overstimulated. Please do not provoke me because I have a short fuse right now and I'm being mindful not to, you know, hand that over to you guys. Yeah, surrender and accept. And it's really difficult, especially when you're the mom, you're the one making the medical decisions and the life decisions for this human being for so long, for their highest good, and trying to do everything right by them. And then this kind of thing happens and I have absolutely zero control. So I have to let it go. So you might be having emotions surface, memories, emotions. Mami Wata in this deck, she is memory, and we know water holds memory. Um, Ashwagandha, yeah, I need to for sure. Thank you, Kara. Oh, yeah, Matt, it's so difficult. Definitely. And all we can do is just let them know in whatever ways that we can that we're still here, like we still care. I told my daughter through her father, like I messaged him, I gave him the phone number of the girlfriend so that he could find out how our daughter was doing, and told him, when you talk to her, let her know that I love her, that, I'm worried about her and that I was checking on her. And he did, but I haven't heard anything from her, and I'm going to respect her wishes not to speak. So leaving the door open. Hey, I love you. I care about you. I'm checking in on you. She lives a block and a half away. I heard the ambulance. Okay. And I knew that it was for my daughter. I hear the ambulance all the time. I live right off the highway. So I hear it all the time, but that time, and I told you guys, like, my heart sank. It just dropped into my gut. And I was like, nope, you're overthinking. You're creating, like, you're making this, because of your emotions and all of that about your daughter, and tried to, gaslight myself. And then Jay comes and he doesn't even bother coming up to the door or anything. He parked by my house over here where my window is, and I was in here, and he knocked and he's like, hey, ambulance is at Haley's. And I was like, so yeah, I knew. Yeah, scream into a pillow, write it down. Yeah. Yeah, I will be working on it. I've been doing breath work and grounding and allowing myself, like when the kids are at school and stuff, I'll scream in the house. I don't care. My neighbors hear me. I don't care. You tried to murder my cat. You can listen to me scream. So I do, I do it in a healthy way as much as possible. Okay. Sometimes I'll drop something and just and then just stomp off and then go and just like face down. Like, I can't right now. If we've done enough of a job for them to be comfortable to fly, then we've done our job. It's just harder than we know. Yeah. What can be influenced. Yeah. Yeah. And it's true. That's really true, Danielle. Thank you. Um, it would, I'm having like a hard time dealing with that part because she was constantly saying, up until like a couple of weeks before she actually made the decision to just bounce, that she never wanted to leave, at least until she was 25. Like, she was worried about ever going out on her own and doing the adult stuff. And then now it was just a couple of weeks after she's been saying that for years, and she's just like, oh, I don't want to speak to you anymore. I don't like you. Yeah, yeah, it is. It is good to know that she is only a block and a half away. So um, it's helpful, but still kind of stings because she's just that far away, but she's so distant. So you could have past decisions, whether you perceive them as good or bad, or past situations that you perceive as being negative or uncomfortable, could be surfacing. Uh, then we have the Tower card. And this Tower card in the Light Seers Tarot has that lightning. And guess what card came out of this other deck? The one just like the tower with the lightning, lightning quick, lots of very powerful energy. Um, oh yeah, yep, she used to say it all the time. I'd tell you, oh my gosh, my daughter loves me. She don't ever want to leave me. Not. But anyway, we need lightning fast changes sometimes. We need a jolt of power sometimes to wake us up, right? To bring us to certain realizations or to dredge up things from the past that may have emotional memory, you know, and be emotionally triggering. But these things are surfacing, these emotions are surfacing so that they can be healed, so that they can be transmuted. Aw, I'm sorry, Susan. That's hurtful. But yeah, you're kind of, similar situations, and it's really difficult, but you're a wonderful mother. So you're doing great. Sometimes our kids, we have these contracts, these plans to have these certain experiences with these souls, and sometimes we can't always see the overall purpose in the situation when we're in it. But hindsight is 2020, as they say. So when we look back on things and how they had to happen in certain ways, then we can, better put those pieces into place and see that bigger picture. So I really wish that for you with that, with your daughter. It took your daughter a year to come around. Dang. I'm hoping it don't take that long, like uh, her I need to stop worrying about her medical, situation. That's the part that really just, gets me. So, but I can't control anything about it. Wait, huh? She's just proving something to herself. Yeah. Yeah, and she has to experience situations where she's taken outside of everyone and everything who care for her and is positive and healthy for her to see how much she's actually being controlled and manipulated. I had to do it, she's going to have to do it too. But the thing is, she saw me go through it, so she knows what to look for, and she's refusing to see it for herself. So anywho, these changes are bringing positive opportunities. Okay, we have the Knight of Cups showing up here. This could be a communication from someone that you care deeply for, that cares deeply for you. Maybe someone coming back just to say, I'm sorry, to apologize for some way that they've wronged you. Whether or not you choose to let them back in your life or they're asking for that, it's going to depend on your situation. But there are emotionally fulfilling, satisfying things that are coming through, perhaps communications, okay? But these are going to help you to be able to move forward. We have the Chariot card showing up here. 12 years? Holy goodness. Oh, that's good, Catherine. My daughter's always told me, like, always afterwards, she's like, you were right, but she didn't listen. And then she'd come back and say, you were right, I'm sorry. So I expect that at some point, but now that she's an adult, it might take a bit longer, I know, Kara, it sucks, but things surfacing to be resolved, to be healed, to be forgiven are allowing you to move forward. Okay. Memories are reprogrammable. Okay. And people do this. I did this with myself also, but people do this for therapeutic purposes, for healing wounds. You go and you do that work or whatever, and then you can also rewrite that entire scene. So now that you've done the healing and you've done the integration, now you can rewrite a new energy, a new scene, and rewrite that memory. So, and that is also helpful for changing timelines. Hey, Jay. um You can change timelines in that way. So you can reprogram these memories. You can change memories. Okay. And that may be what you're doing as well, or just rewriting the ending. Alternate ending. But this one, honey, is where you've got the sun card, happiness. This is the happiest card in the deck. This is fulfillment, satisfaction. It's receiving them sun codes. Look at your sunburnt ass right there, Matt. I love your dress. It's so cute. But yeah, this is the happiest card in the deck. You're thriving. We have thrive variety right here. You're thriving. This release, this realization, these epiphanies are bringing you abundance. Look at that. All that abundance raining down. And this card says, I can. It also says food meditation. You can meditate on the food if you want. It's your life. But meditation and meditating on abundance is the key. Okay. Going within. You are the key. You are the door. You are the key. So unlock yourself. Okay. And we talked about experiencing things like residual energies. It's like we're moving down the birth canal, and this is the tight squeeze. This is that crowning moment where it's extremely painful, or just you feel under pressure, overstimulated, just intensity happening all around you right now. It's because you are birthing something new. So you're birthing this new reality. You're experiencing ego death. You may be taking down a peg or two. Okay, Steph, there you are. I was saying it would have been handy to have you around earlier because you know off the top of your head how to calculate Celsius to Fahrenheit. But better late than never, right? So you could be experiencing ego death, having these events, these triggers, these manifestations just crop up that are putting you in the pressure cooker, that are forcing you to become resourceful, to think outside of the box, to create something new. The Knight of Wands, this card always is associated with the sacral chakra to me. This is creation. This is passion. Wands is fire. That's creation. That's passion. That's sacral energy. Look at this card. It's all orange. And yellow with that solar plexus. You got to be confident about it, baby. But she's right in the middle of the Four Wands. The Four of Wands, 11-11 alignment. Okay. This is alignment. This is go. This is ready, set, go. Okay. And it's because of all of these triggering situations, or these emotions or thoughts or whatever surfacing for you, so you can look at it, so you can face it, and so you can heal it. I was actually talking about something like this to Anna earlier, like 30 minutes ago. We were talking about how things like the what I posted in the group about the adrenochrome, how these things have to surface so that we can realize them collectively, and that we can heal. Yes, I summoned you. I told you guys about my summoning powers. I've told you this like since the beginning of the podcasting journey. So a year and a half now almost. I summon you and you come forth. So take this period while you're being triggered, while things are happening everywhere around you, while you're being overstimulated, okay, and retreat, go within, reformulate, recalculate. If you're having difficulty with business and finances, revamp, start reaching out and, what do they call that? Networking. Network. Or go and, like Holly, go and ask another place, hey, can I put my stuff in your store? Do you want to carry my products? And they were like, hell yes, we do. So it could be opportunities like that. 25 there. Gosh. Are you talking Celsius or Fahrenheit though? I know Matt's talking about Celsius. It could be you're having romantic issues from the past resurfacing, whether those are memories or actual past people, which shouldn't be happening because, for fuck's sake, retrograde's been over. We were waiting for it to be over since it started. So hopefully those exes are not trying to come back. or people in you know that same energy in a new flesh suit. But whatever it is for you, take this time to reassess, to realign yourself. You're balancing. We've talked about this. We're having these triggers happen so that we can come into balance, so that we can, align to the trajectory that we're shifting to, these new timelines, these higher timelines that we've already chosen. You're going through difficulties, yes, but this is pushing you to be stronger. You are a piece of coal being put under intense heat and pressure. You're a fucking diamond, baby. Okay. Celsius. Okay. I was like, that's pretty cold, man. Glad things are warming up for you up there in the frozen north. Ugh. Trying to keep my voice from drying out and overcracking, overworking, maybe cracking. I don't know. But have grace with yourself. The grace card showing up right underneath that Four of Swords. This is a time for you to have grace with yourself, to stabilize yourself mentally, emotionally, come into balance and integrate those things. Have grace and love for yourself because you are transforming. Okay. Appreciate the caterpillar and the cocoon phase, because after butterfly soup is done, okay, you're going to spread those wings. So it's not fun. Everything is breaking down, coming into goo and mush and yuckiness, but you're restructuring. So use this time, okay, the void with that divine feminine, use this time that you're incubating, okay, you're a little bun in the oven. Just imagine yourself in the void and you're taking shape, okay? It's no easy feat to grow an entire being within yourself, okay? And that's exactly what you're doing. Whether you can relate to this or not, if you're biological male, doesn't matter. I'm sure that the biological males in here can at least remember a time whenever they were females, another lifetime, where they've experienced that kind of thing, or be able to tap into what that may be like with your empathic abilities. Mold me, motherfucker. 77 Fahrenheit. Nice. That's perfect, Steph. So this time it may be dark, it may be quiet, not much might be happening around you that you can notice, but you're in gestation, you're in the void, you are in creation itself, you are forming new life, you are about to give birth to new life in your own life. Okay. So use this period of time. She's in the fetal position, for cripe sakes. All right. So use this time to really nurture yourself. Good food. Okay. We had the food meditation card coming out with all that abundance. You might be eating a lot more fresh fruits and veggies lately. I know Jay is. He showed me today. He had him in his truck whenever I walked him out and he was leaving. He was showing me his fruits that he has today. And I was like, awesome, you're eating healthy. So that may be you. You might be incorporating more light into your diet. We've talked about this week, haven't we? Um, and the reason is because you're birthing a new version of yourself. Ace of Cups, this is that heart space. This is your cup runneth over. And whenever we're talking about like a spiritual context to this, eating light, nourishing your body with light, with fruits and vegetables, those things that eat light, that transform it, then you eat those, right? You're eating light. Um, this is helping you to unlock it's like dormant genes in the DNA having to do with heart structure. Um, and they're talking about the light grid within your vessel, your body. So if you're craving certain things, then go with those cravings, even if they sound kind of weird or random or counterintuitive to like building a light body grid. Go with it. Okay. That doesn't mean go eat junk food and say, oh, I'm incorporating my light body. But there might be someone that gets some kind of random craving and you're like, I don't think that this is like, aligned with that kind of thing. It is. For whatever reason, it is. Just go with it. But don't eat 10 boxes of cookies. All right, Matt. Getting fruity, guys. Love it. So nourishment for your physical body, but also for the light body by way of mostly fruits and vegetables. But if, I don't know, you might want like a pickle with like a bunch of salt on it and yogurt. I don't know. It's like something weird. Just go with it. Pregnancy cravings, if you're having cravings for stuff that's weird, like you're pregnant, but you know you're not, obviously, because you're either biological male or you just know you're not pregnant, then this could be the explanation for that, is because you're having certain upgrades and the energies in your body are shifting. So your body will crave certain foods to, receive whatever nutrients that it needs out of that food. It's something that you've ingested before, that your body's recorded this, or these are the vitamins and minerals and whatever things that I need from this. So it will make you crave those things whenever it needs those things. So just go with it. Give your body what it needs, even if it's an apple pie a la mode. Calming on the chocolates right now, eating healthy. Nice. Love it. Ooh, back on your smoothies. All right, release. You may be releasing and purging a lot with the body right now. You might be like sweating a lot, crying a lot, laughing, hiccups even, okay? Um, you're processing, you're releasing, you're restructuring, okay? You are butterfly soup right now, and it might literally pertain to your physical vessel, restructuring with that light body grid, that crystalline vessel, okay? So give your body what it needs. Release, setting oneself free, letting go of everything that is holding you back, of weighing you down, that is taking from your confidence. We have confidence with faith to rely on oneself. Okay, and we just talked about confidence with that Knight of Wands and the yellow that I was seeing up when we were talking about the sacral and solar plexus, very closely tied together, obviously, right? They're connected, but that sun card, solar plexus, okay? So tapping into that confidence, nourishing yourself, mind, body, and soul, appreciating the vessel. We've been talking about this stuff, guys, for the last couple of weeks, loving and appreciating the vessel for what it is designed to do and the positive purpose that it serves for you in this life, on this journey, with your purpose in mind, okay? Spirit healers and helpers are with you. So you could actually be experiencing some new guides stepping in right now. You could be just having your normal guides around you, helping you out with this transition, with changing and shifting your diet. This could be spiritual diet too. Watching your intake on content, on, maybe you're reading a lot more instead of playing video games, or, doing something that you see as draining your time, or taking away from your full health and vitality. Listen to that guidance. Help from the higher being. So this is your higher self guiding you. Listen to it. Listen to the intuition. Don't second guess yourself. Don't gaslight yourself. Okay. You have a reading bug lately. I love it, Matt. That's awesome. So truly tapping into your own energy, meditation, aligning with your highest self, trusting the guidance that you're receiving, creating a rapport, like a back and forth dialogue with your higher self, with your guides. Talked about plant medicine when I couldn't make it. Darn. Well, maybe you should start making it more often, Steph. Just kidding. I know you're busy. I like giving you shit though. So listen to that inner compass. Your spirit guide can lead you, but can't do it for you. Suzanne, hello, love. The soul soup is waiting for you to jump in. Your spirit guide can lead you, but can't do it for you. They can give you all the guidance and wisdom in the world, but if you're gaslighting yourself, if you're second guessing, if you're just not listening because you don't want to eat healthy for yourself, you'd rather pork out on the couch and eat, 5 bags of Doritos and 2 bags of cookies, then, they're not going to be able to do it for you. They're not going to slap the cookies out of your hand. Sometimes they might. Like I've been dropping stuff lately, so that's what came in. And I'm like, sometimes they might. Sometimes they might slap the cookies out your hand. So if that's happening, listen, okay? Just listen. Um, they're not going to be able to change your life for you. You say that you want change, and then you have all this guidance, and then you have all of these things start shifting and changing around you, and then you start crying, and talking about how life is so terrible and how you're this victim, but you asked for change. Change is happening. Yes, it's, chaotic. Yeah, everything's breaking apart. But that's because you said, I don't want this structure anymore. I want a new structure. So they're going to break that one apart so they can restructure for you. Okay. So stop being stop being a dick. Stop being a dick. You ask for change, allow it, go with it, go with the flow. It might be scary at times, and you're going to be encouraged to trust and believe that it's going to be okay. You're going to have to be resourceful. You're going to have to think on your feet, but you can do it. You're capable. You're intelligent. You have the guidance. You have the forevision. So you're equipped. You have all the tools you need. What's stopping you? You. You are your own blockage. I slap it off your hand and say it's for your highest good. Yes. Yes. Lost, but never alone. We've talked about this lately about how you could be feeling like your spirit guides aren't really giving you much guidance. They're not around you. Maybe you turned it down. Maybe you stopped listening. Maybe you are being tested on. These are all things that we've guided you on before. These are all things you've practiced before. Now put that practice in motion. So they might just hold back and be like, here's your chance to shine, baby. So shine. Okay. And if you feel lost, ask for guidance. They're never going to leave you, and they're not going to intervene either. If you ask, if you're open, then they're going to help you out. But free will, they cannot intervene on your behalf unless it's absolutely necessary for, keeping your life, because you got more shit to do. Inspiration, beautiful spark, and moving impulse. So in the dark, whenever you feel lost and alone, when you feel like there ain't nothing around you, look for that spark. That spark is you. Ask for guidance. Ask to be shown just how capable you are of overcoming this, or ask yourself to be shown, the way that you already know, the solution that you already know, but maybe you're just not fully seeing it yet. You have to embody that. I know, but hey, can you give me a reminder? Can you give me a little cheat code? And, being open to that thing, it's going to happen. To overcome, you first have to climb. You're going to have to go down rough paths. You're going to have to be shaken up. You're going to have to be, placed in the pressure cooker. But you're going to come out sparkling. Okay? You're bling blinging. You're a diamond the whole time. Which metaverse? This talks about alchemy, about creation, about manifestation, law of attraction, law of assumption, whatever you want to label it. This is right under to overcome, you first have to climb. You are being placed in these confining situations inside of these little tiny boxes, okay, with no exit, so that you can create your own. I heard blow the lid off this motherfucker. So, who posted about glass ceilings? I saw something the other day, and then I was trying to read it, and it refreshed or something. I don't know, but it caught my eye and I was trying to read it. I think it was Nicole. Um, but just talking about glass ceilings, and I got the vision from Willy Wonka, right? Whenever he takes the Wonkavator and then they crash through the glass ceiling and they fly off with Charlie and Grandpa Joe. Um, bust through that motherfucker. It's glass, okay? Think outside the box. Be outside the box. Think outside the box, and then you will be outside the box. That's how manifestation works. So we're only inside the box that we put ourselves in. So understand the oneness in all, in everything, transcend, Understand that universal oneness. And like we talked about over the weekend when Steph wasn't able to join us for the for the psilocybin chat, how whenever you are on a trip like that and you experience the oneness of all, and you understand that you are source and there is no separation, there just, it makes so much sense how intricately connected we are to everything. It helps you to transcend. That's why it's so beneficial for healing through traumas and addictions and all kinds of those things. So um, understanding that these things that you want, or these things that you feel that you don't have, or the life experiences that you feel that you may never experience, all of these things, they're not separate from you. Okay, so become the thing and then it will manifest. So become the haver of the thing or the doer of the thing, just like athletes. They use the law of attraction all the time. They visualize and they know, it's more the law of assumption, if you want to get technical, but they visualize, they just know this is how, I'm gonna boop, boop, bloop, and then go make that shot, slam dunk. And it may be something that people think is impossible. Runners do this shit all the time too. They beat records all the time, because they visualize it and they know it, and then they just do it. Okay, they become that. They visualize it, become it, and then it happens. So you are the athlete of your own life. Visualize it, become it, because it's not outside of you. It is you. Okay, and that is when your Ace of Cups happens. This new fulfilling, your cup runneth over, new phase of your life. Fake it till you make it. Yep. Embody that energy until it just is in tangible form, because anything that you can conceptualize, is already created in the quantum. So in order to anchor it here, you just have to pay more attention to it. You have to invest in that experience. You have to embody that energy. You have to align yourself to the frequency, because everything is made of frequency and vibration. You have to, align your frequency to the frequency of that thing, or having that thing, or that situation, or whatever it is. Topography maps do not do topography justice, I'm sure. Insert how dare you meme. I need like that one, Steph. um, so transcending the lack, transcending the lower frequencies, and becoming the vibrational frequency of whatever it is that you want to experience. Have grace with yourself. You are in the unbecoming and then the becoming. Okay, you're in that butterfly soup. Your bones are being restructured, right? The whole structure is coming back into form, because it's all went to goo, so that it restructures to the crystalline structure, to the new earth paradigm. So just give it time, be patient, be graceful with yourself and the situations that you find yourself in that are manifesting for you. And just know that this is that tight squeeze. This is that crowning moment. You might be screaming right now, but you're about to shit that kid out like a turd, baby. It's about to be all right. All right. So, love you guys. Hopefully that resonates for you. We have alchemy with choices on the bottom of the deck too. Make good choices. You're the alchemist. You can turn a shitty situation into payload, baby. Because if you know how to turn shit into fertilizer, you can use that shit to grow. Okay? Love you. What are we talking about again tonight? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. We're doing walk-ins. We're talking about high vibrational and lower vibrational walk-ins. Isn't that exciting? We talked a little bit about the lower frequency ones, but all of us know about the higher frequency walk-in situation. So I wanted to go over this stuff. So, it'd be a nice conversation. Oh, good, Matt. Poop it in the box. Shit that baby out. Everything but shitting a kid out resonates. You're welcome, Steph. You're welcome, Kara. Thank you, Wendy. Thanks, Matt. Thank you, Anna. Love you guys. Meow. It's not your turn for attention right now, little lady. She's like, it's always my turn for attention. She's stretching out and being fancy now. She likes to stretch out and like get my attention. Look how fancy I am. And then she'll roll over and show her belly. It's ridiculous. She's a brat. She knows she's cute. All right, let me pull up my notes. Here we are. Okay. A walk-in. What is a walk-in? It's when one soul leaves the physical body, either in part or fully, because they can stick around, partially, and another soul steps in either to continue the life, to fulfill some kind of a mission, or to anchor a different frequency. It's not possession, okay? Let's double underline that. It's not possession. Drama Queen Kitty, always. Suzanne, she is so prissy. She's just laying there now, like staring under the door, but she's got her paws like this. So ridiculous. Possession is something that is forced, non-consensual, and usually lower frequency, energetic violation type things. Okay. Walk-ins are typically contracted events before incarnating, but not always. But it happens at the soul level. It's agreements made so that this other soul can step in, and because it's kind of a big deal to have a body created, the pregnancy and the waiting, and then having to wait to grow up to fulfill some kind of task, right? So it's much easier to just be able to like walk in, whether that's just for a blip of time, just to take over and do some things, or for the rest of that vessel's time, so that they can achieve different things, like we just went over. Some walk-ins happen due to severe trauma, near-death experiences. A lot of you guys have heard and like seen videos about people talking about having near-death experiences and then being changed and feeling like they were a walk-in. Those definitely happen, and I would say that those are accurate. So if you were questioning their accuracy, I would say that most of those stories that you hear or see people talking about are actually true. Wait, something. Hold on, let me see that whole comment here. I heal really quickly. So many breaks during this lifetime. Oh, where's the Harry Potter comment? I saw the Harry Potter comment. Did you delete it? Yeah, definitely can be due to extreme trauma. I know that was part of y'all's own conversation, but I saw that comment and I didn't know what it was about, so I had to investigate. Spiritual awakenings can spark a walk-in as well. Exhaustion of a soul's original mission, like an exhausted soul couldn't complete it or did complete it, but there's still like plenty of time left, and it could be put to greater use. I'm trancing a lot with that kind of energy. Nice. Make sure that you are keeping up on that spiritual hygiene, love. That's something that I just always say to everyone, just to make sure that you are doing your grounding and protection and all of that. Yeah, there are some cars that get abandoned and you can get in and drive them, pretty much. Global energetic shifts requiring new skill sets that can spark a walk-in situation. And then the signs that you might see if somebody is a walk-in: sudden personality changes. That's one of the biggest markers. Interests changing, their habits changing, the kind of foods that they enjoy, their favorite foods can change. Very dramatic shifts within people. That's usually a big indicator. They have a different energy signature. So if you're sensitive enough to be able to sense someone's energy is different, then likely that's what's going on. Not always, but at least the people close to them notice the shift in their energy. Um, and they might not be able to explain it. They're just like, oh my gosh, this person is different. I don't know what it is. Can't really put my finger on it. Loss of emotional connection to old relationships or memories of, past events, things that maybe they would have cherished before, or, at least um, had some kind of, whether it's positive or negative, some kind of emotional response to relationships, certain relationships or memories. All of a sudden, they don't have those same things anymore. Travelers series on Netflix. I have not, Matt. Um, okay, let me see. Where am I? I lose myself all the time. Okay, here we go. Sudden spiritual abilities or a new sense of life purpose, like maybe gifts all of a sudden come online after you have some kind of event take place, and now you've got, or another person has all of these different gifts or things coming online for them out of nowhere, and feel like a renewed sense of purpose, wanting to do something completely different or vastly different perhaps from what they might have been drawn to before. You could feel like you just woke up in an unfamiliar life, so you could recognize, hey, this brain holds these things as memories, but I don't really identify and connect with them. Quantum leap, yeah. Yeah, could be that too. High vibrational walk-ins. They usually occur to accelerate personal or planetary evolution, and they often bring in higher consciousness, healing frequencies, expanded mission work, life mission, life path journey, whatever. Quantum level upgrades for the body. And we're going to talk about physical changes as well, and bridging connections between realms, like earth and cosmic communities or higher realms, things like that. Okay. So you will have a walk-in to complete missions when the original soul is too tired or damaged, to upgrade the physical vessel energetically for, the crystalline body, the crystalline structure to, hello, you decided you weren't getting enough attention down there. So they will come in for those reasons, and also to anchor new codes into the earth grid. Do you think the walk-in can retain the memories and own them of the original soul for themselves? Yeah, they can. They might feel a little bit removed from them. It might not be like such a personal association with the memory, but they can also come through with really powerful emotions too. It varies, depending on the situation, the souls involved, etc. But those who are very sensitive can pick up on those things, um, but may feel a deep connection at the same time, if that makes sense. Okay. High vibrational walk-ins usually respect free will, and the transition can be bumpy emotionally at first, might even be kind of confusing to be operating a physical vessel, taking that over after not having one for so long. But eventually, these kinds of things, you overcome these, it brings you a greater sense of empowerment, purpose, and you kind of acclimate. You're welcome, Susan. You acclimate well. Um, a person might become more compassionate, peaceful, spiritual activations. People will be drawn to them. They'll feel, like a bright light. So obviously that's going to attract a lot of people. They might come into teaching roles or some other kind of service to others. Um, you might experience some kind of detox symptoms, kind of, when you are adjusting to holding these higher frequencies. The physical body may experience like body aches and detox symptoms. Purging a lot. You could be, you know, urinating frequently, emptying your bowels, purging, you know, in other ways. It's like they're like it's like an ayahuasca journey without the plant medicine. I love how they joke. They got jokey jokes. Um, when these high frequency walk-ins happen, you will experience nervous system upgrades. The body's electrical wiring system is being recalibrated, is being restructured so that it can handle more light, more higher frequencies. You may experience periods of heightened sensitivity to light, sound, emotions, become overstimulated really easily. Sensations in the body, like vibrations, especially along the spine, kundalini rising, buzzing or humming sensations, and faster thought processing and clearer intuition. DNA activation takes place. Dormant strands of DNA that many people believe is junk DNA start to reactivate. This can result in enhanced psychic abilities, faster healing abilities, like being able to heal your body with injury or illness, or just have a really strong immune system and you just don't get sick that often. Um, you might all of a sudden become interested in music, or the healing arts, or interacting with humans. It is healing on an emotional level, but not everyone's going to want to go into psychology or therapy or anything like that, but definitely working with others in that way. It's like unlocking hidden software. All right. Endocrine system shifts. Your hormones and your glands will shift and change. Again, you'll be flushing toxins and stuff. Your pituitary glands and your pineal glands are going to become activated or expanded. Also, you may notice, again, with the ridding of toxins or stagnant energy, um, dreams become more vivid and symbolic, clearer downloads. Your intuition becomes much more heightened. Changes in your circadian rhythm. You might start to fall asleep much more easily and wake, in a better state. Dreaming a lot more lucidly or vividly. You might feel sensations in like the forehead and the crown chakra areas, and just feel an increased connection to your higher self. Always been a quick healer? I bet Susan. Okay. Yes, we talked about that. Changes in your foods, detox, cravings for different things, skin breakouts and rashes, things like that. Your skin does also purge. So you might develop different kind of skin. You could have dry skin, you could have rashes or some kind of irritations. Wonder if the walk-in is aware that they are a walk-in. I bet it's a shocker. Some of them are aware, and then others, some of them become aware, and then it's like not a surprise because they already, kind of knew it. But it's just like confirmation. But I'm sure some of them might feel a little shocked, but for the most part, I feel like they're like, yeah, that makes sense. um, your skeletal structure can also change, and your posture. We've talked about this in the last couple of weeks, where with the physical vessel, just like the human design, where we have so many doppelgangers, so many of the same kind of make and model of bodysuit, but each one can look vastly different depending on what soul is animating the vessel, right? So you can see shifts and changes in people's facial structures and the way that they carry themselves. They'll look like someone completely different because it's a new soul inhabiting that physical vessel. Um, And also they might like walk a little bit taller because they're stretched up closer to source. They're aligned, you know, um they're exuding that source energy, you know, especially if you got the Kundalini rising type thing going on as well. Okay, you could have pain flare-ups and things like that happen because that's also energy being purged from the body. It could be joint stiffness, aches, flare-ups of old injuries, or, you know, just different pains in the body depending on where you store your trauma. Like in my session with Matt, we my hip was always bothering me. It was always my left hip. And it's been like that for as long as I can remember. And it would ended up being like an implanted emotion that I was meant to carry so that I, you know, it set me up for certain lessons and things like that that were not at all pleasant. But that's where I carried that. And then once it was released, I have not had an issue since. I haven't had any kind of dull ache or heaviness or anything in that area like I used to. So you may have, you know, these pains surface so that they can be released and healed because the body before may have been storing traumas in those areas. um, and so also your muscle tone, your tendons, things like that might loosen up, become more limber because you're able to adjust to carrying a lot more light and flowing energy. The energy just flows through you. There's not all these hindrances anymore. So the body's going to stabilize. Your eyes can change too. The color of your eye may change, you know, your eyes, not just one, we have more than one. Or they might just like the light in a person's eyes may become so much brighter. There might be an extra twinkle in their eye. They might just seem more clear than maybe they before that were a bit darker or something. So pay attention to the eyes. Eyes are the windows to the soul. Sensitive people usually know something, especially whenever they look at the eyes. I know for sure that I do. Um, so when you have a high frequency spiritual walk-in, this is considered kind of like an upgrade, upgrades the body to the crystalline vessel for a higher mission, also to anchor those codes to this plane because we are ascending to the higher frequency, what people understand as 5D. Um, um, yeah, okay, talked about all that. That's energetic rebirth. Okay, so have you experienced any of these symptoms or another person? If you love you, Steph, thanks for hanging out. Um, you or anyone you know might have experienced this, then this could be signs that you or they have a walk-in. Sudden changes in food cravings or aversions to food, buzzing, vibrating, or tingling sensations throughout the body, especially along the spine. Feeling exhausted by followed by bursts of powerful energy, detox symptoms, um, patterns changing with your sleeping pattern, pressure or tingling sensations in the forehead or the crown, um, signifies, you know, that lighter frequency coming down into those chakras, eyes appearing brighter, sharper, or somehow different, and postural shifts and changes. Then we have emotional signs. Emotional and mental signs, loss of emotional attachment to old relationships, activities, or identities, feeling like you woke up in your life and parts of it feel unfamiliar, greater sensitivity to dishonesty, manipulation, or low vibes. You feel more of a pull to spiritual healing or service based missions. Old fears falling away without an issue. Um, you know, just becoming more easy for you to just step outside of that fear. And a feeling like something big shifted in you that you can't really explain or put your finger on. Spiritual signs, new psychic abilities, suddenly knowing things or heightened intuition, vivid dreaming, astral experiences, or even spontaneous past life memories surfacing, feeling a deep connection to cosmic, angelic, or Gaia energies, knowing you are here for a bigger mission, even if you don't know the details, increased resonance with animals, nature, or energy work, and noticing more synchronicities and signs everywhere you look. So if you or anyone that you know has experienced those things, then you might just have your explanation for why. Okay, let me see. Where did my low frequency ones go? I had them in different. That's not you. I might have accidentally not included the. I did this last week. I have been emailing my stuff. Like I do it on my phone and then I email it to myself. And then last week I was going to touch on something, but I was like, nah, we don't have time. I'll have to make an episode for tomorrow. And then I went to my emails and it was still a draft. It never actually sent. So I'm thinking that's probably what happened to me today too with the lower frequency ones. But we don't need to focus on low frequencies anyway. So that's the whole message with that one. But I will post the list of like just like what I went over. What did I call it? The signs, for a low frequency walk-in, just so you guys have that. But you guys know that none of you have that kind of thing going on, but it's helpful information to have. So I'll upload the checklist for high frequency walk-ins and low frequency walk-ins, but we can talk a little bit about the low frequency walk-ins. We have time still, but it's helpful for me to have it all like in front of my face so I don't miss anything. So I'm going to go back to that one so it can bring it. Okay. So low frequency walk-ins obviously can happen during traumatic events, before, during, or after. Some cases before, we'll say that. Some cases before. Not all. Some of them will partially control, and a lot of times you'll see like DID, dissociative personality disorder, where they'll have one personality that has one certain style, the vessel looks completely different within that personality, and then another personality steps in and they look completely different, dress, talk different, act different, this is that. It's very similar. Not all of those situations are low frequency beings. I want to make that blatantly clear. Okay. A lot of times people will enter into these soul contracts with this certain experience where they're sharing a vessel with multiple others for the experience. And it's not always a low vibrational negative experience. So let's make that abundantly clear, because people don't need to be judged for having their own life experience, right? And yeah, that's just something that we don't do. So if you experience DID or anything similar, it is absolutely not because you're evil. That's a church thing and it's bullshit. And if you judge others for having that, then I think you need to reassess your beliefs. But just making that clear, there can be very high frequency situations where these souls co-inhabit a body as well. So we're never approaching from a place of judgment, just from a place of, pondering, inquisitiveness, and with the intention to understand. So with the lower frequency type situations, those can definitely be contracted by the original soul because they want to have that kind of an exit, but also that kind of experience because they are still technically, a co-signer on the rental contract for that vessel. So they are gaining experience from that situation at the same time. So, okay, symptoms. We'll talk about symptoms. There will be a complete, change in the person, or this can also be a gradual thing. A lot of times it happens gradually as well. Every experience is different. We're kind of generalizing here without, trying to throw anyone under the bus or not include anyone. So we're just trying to get through it because I don't have my notes. I um, emailed them to myself. I know I did, but it must not have sent through. So these things can happen from near death experiences as well, like a traumatic event can spark or initiate this kind of stepping aside and I don't give a fuck what takes over because I'm gone. I can't handle this. So if you're in the lower frequency state, obviously there's going to be a resonance with lower frequency beings, entities, what have you. So that just, if you completely hands off, back up, and then walk, ditch your car, then you're leaving it open for any kind of carjacker or thief or criminal or whatever to just come along and take it. They can't really jack you for your car if you walk away from it, but you know what I mean. So, and these things can be set up for the ultimate purpose of that soul having a spiritual awakening. If they're still, kind of taking over the reins from time to time, if they're still present, even if it's just a tiny bit, it can be set up for them to have this particular experience so that they can find their power in that very, very dim darkness. They have to sometimes find themselves from the true depths. So not all of these things are something to be, feared and like, no, they're possessed, or they have a low vibe walk in or whatever. It's not from the space of judging or anything like that. It's to understand this plane is a melting pot for experiences. You can have super high vibrational, very pleasant, easy experiences. You can have super low vibrational, difficult, unbearable experiences too. So this is just a plane for souls to learn from. And it's time for that shift to take place. So you're going to start noticing a lot more of the higher frequency type walk-ins taking place if you notice them at all. Not everyone will. It's not going to be like, floods and floods of people that are doing this. It's only, depending on whatever was necessary at the time for that soul and for the collective evolution. So, and no, you cannot be completely hijacked in that way. Let me see how I want to say this. Even though possessions are often forced entry, not really people giving conscious permission, there is still some kind of energetic permission, some kind of an energetic opening that was created. And ultimately, in the grander scheme of things, that's going to serve that soul's evolutionary purpose, knowing not to give away their control. Okay. So everything is ultimately for the highest good of all, no matter what kind of experience it is. But when you're experiencing it, or whenever you are, personally connected to someone experiencing something like that, then it's obviously not going to sound at all like, that's just not going to make sense to people. They get the cognitive dissonance and they're like, no, I'd never choose that for myself, but on some level, honey, you really did. Yes, it is a soul contract, always, always. And there can also be walk-in experiences that are more spontaneous, that weren't pre-planned, like, ahead of time, that just all of a sudden this situation opens up. It's this concoction of energies and circumstances that caused more of a spontaneous type of opening. So those things can happen, but they are very rare. But yes, it is also a possibility for your soul, your higher self is still mostly over there, just a tiny little fragment is here. So you can make soul contracts, decisions, things like that when you have part of yourself in a body from the soul level. So keep that in mind. It is your higher self always orchestrating, always looking out for your highest good. Um, so much the same, like physical symptoms, not physical, mental, emotional, spiritual symptoms, but what you would expect a lower frequency aspect to look like. So, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sex addiction, like all of these things that can really get out of hand that can cause detriment to the person, mind, body, and soul. Um, you know, or pick and choose. It impacts everything. Nothing is not impacted. We know the spillover effect. So, yes, mind, body, and soul. Um, they also may experience heightened spiritual abilities, okay? Because it doesn't matter if you're high vibrational or low vibrational, you can still have access to the same exact abilities, the same exact planes, the same exact, everything that, except for the higher light realms, okay? We're not talking about, those places, but they work in magical realms too, because this place isn't really real. This is a holographic projection. The quantum is where it's at, and that's everything. Everything is contained in the quantum. So if you can access it, they can too. Why do you think the controllers have had control over this plane for so damn long? Because they know the way that things work. They know, how to use magic. They just know. They didn't come through the veil of forgetfulness. Okay. They created that shit. They watched everyone else go through it, but they still know. So just because someone is very gifted, maybe even extremely gifted, okay, does not mean that they're working with high frequency forces. Okay. Um, just like people have minions and little demons that go and do their bidding, people put on spells and things like that, use these different entities and beings, and jinn, perfect example. So um, yeah, just because someone is very gifted and can see and predict certain things does not mean that they are a high frequency and safe individual. Forever, whoever needs to know that one. They will experience loss of emotional connection to people or situations that were once close to their heart, near and dear to their heart, because they don't have much of a heart, or it's not the same one as before with these lower frequency walk ins. So they will lose interest in a lot of different things. And, a lot of times these entities or beings use substances in order to control the physical vessel, because that's the easiest way, whether it's pharmaceuticals, okay, or what they deem as illegal substances now. Tomato, tomato. So humans can become addicted to anything, okay? Narcissism is an addiction, okay? So you can become addicted to manipulating people and situations, all right? So keep that in mind. Um, they might come in without having any kind of recollection of people that they would have once recognized as very close to them. There are those that have walk-ins that don't interact with anyone at all that they've known or been connected to before, because they're not interested, because they have their own purpose and own mission. That's why they took over this vessel. Why they're going to keep involved in situations that they didn't get themselves in and they really don't care about. So they will distance. Some of them will go missing, just fall right off the map. And that kind of thing does happen. I was talking with Holly in the comments, I think it was this morning. Yeah, on that post of the missing woman from, it's more the Denver area, but she's been missing for 2 weeks, and it's just now getting out into the news media, and investigators aren't really doing much from what I understand. So anyway, we were having comments back and forth about situations where people do, like if they're on drugs and things like that, they will get lost on purpose. They will go missing on purpose. Um, and that would be that kind of thing, that kind of situation. Not everyone that goes missing or goes and, on drugs and everything is a walk-in or has some kind of entity attachment. Not all of them. a lot of them do have entity attachments, but not all of them do. Okay. So yeah, they will be more into activities, energies. You shared that post. Thank you, Wendy. That are self-sabotaging, that you know that could be risky behaviors as far as keeping the vessel alive, um, taking advantage of, hurting others, trying to grow that energy of fear, pain, toxicity, all of the lower frequencies. So they will engage in those kinds of things. Serial killers come to mind, okay? Let's see here. So if one has some kind of a walk in and they're still present, even if it's a minuscule amount, national parks do not keep track of the number of people that go missing. That's insane. So even if they're hanging on by a thread, they can still reclaim ownership over their physical vessel, okay? Because that is theirs. They still have that source light, even if they're not in the physical vessel very often. They still have that light and they can choose to go back in and to awaken, to heal, to overcome, to take full control over again, of their sovereignty. That absolutely can happen. Even in cases where people would think that that was just a lost cause, there's no way that that's happening. Yes, absolutely, that can happen again. But also because their name's still basically on the title, even if they're not, if they've given up full control, and they're just not, their name is still on the title, okay? Because that was the one that was contracted to them. So if they have some kind of awakening while they're in, the healing place over there, or if they have some kind of realization in the purgatory that they're experiencing, there's so many different ways that these situations can manifest. They can come back into their knowing and take back over that physical vessel. So it's never completely lost. But a lot of times they will, some of them will plan to not return to the vessel. And, it's just on a case by case basis, whatever that soul needs to experience in that time. So, like I said, I will post the high and low frequency walk-ins in the group, so that you guys have that side by side, because I wasn't able to really do lists like I did for the high frequency ones. Contact and experience this. It was not in a bad way. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. Is it Roel? Let me know if I'm mispronouncing. But thank you for joining us. I see you're new. Haven't seen you before that I can recollect. So thank you for joining us. But yes, I would love to know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. That's just a thing with me. I like to address everyone correctly. So thank you, Catherine. What's the consequences for these parasites in a next life? People who damage the world and mess with the collective, what's the consequences for them? So a lot of times these parasitic entities are, they're not souls, okay? Um, Most often they are thought forms, whether that's individually created or collectively created. So that energy, once it has basically run its course, energy changes and transforms. It never dies, it never stops and then creates new. It just changes, it transforms. So that energy will eventually be recycled back to the source. But there really isn't karma or consequences for anything that doesn't have that source consciousness. Hi, Nicole. Love you. So there is no karma for those entity type things, but for like the souls who choose to step out, or maybe on an unconscious level chose to step out and something else happened, they're going to have to go through experiences, life experiences where their sovereignty is threatened, where their freedom is threatened, so that they can start to embody more of that confidence. They can start to know their divine source spark, and embody their truth again. It's just a forgetting of who they were, and it doesn't happen in a lot of places. Only places like this, their density. Um, oh, like rule. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Awesome. It's nice to have you. Um, so that would be those souls' karma, so to speak. Karma is only cause and effect. It's a seed sown and a harvest reaped, right? Um, so thank you, Nicole. Um, so with those souls who gave over their sovereignty, whether they were consciously aware or not, they will go on to experience other lifetimes where it'll kind of build them. They'll usually, a lot of times, they'll go to the healing place, the resting place. They'll go to these different schools, take different lessons, right? And then they'll go into other lifetimes where they've got to be, kind of beaten down and caged in, so that they can really expand and grow and embody that divine light, because once they fully embody that divine light, they're not going to forget. Oh, sorry guys. Yeah, so we have Facebook and YouTubers um, in the same stream, and I thank you, Matt, for reminding me. I usually try to highlight the comments so that you guys are able to interact with one another. Um, so there we go. And Rule, if you have Facebook access, we're over on Facebook as well. Um, my page is Rebel Spirit on Facebook, and our group, we have a Facebook group for the community. It's called Rebel Spirits, plural, Rising. So Rebel Spirits Rising. If you have access to Facebook and you feel like you want to join. Otherwise, feel free to join us anytime, and I will definitely make sure to highlight the comments so that you guys know what each other's saying. But we are at time pretty much. We're a couple minutes over. Try to keep it at an hour and a half. But Rule, we're also here 5 days a week. Sunday and Monday we do 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, and 9 p.m. British summertime. And then Tuesday through Thursday we do 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and 1 a.m. British summertime. Just so that you know the schedule. You can also subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to join us for future episodes. And if you guys are over on Facebook just joining for the first time, please like, share, give me a follow. And if you do follow me on Facebook, you get an automatic group invite to the group. So just bear that in mind. It's kind of helpful the way that's set up. But I love you guys so much. I'm not quite sure exactly what I want to line up for tomorrow. I've had a couple of different ideas swimming around, so I will get that figured out, and I will release what tomorrow's episode will be tonight and get that stream scheduled, so on YouTube it will reflect when tomorrow's episode starts and what it's going to be about and all of that. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for spending your time with me. And I will see you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. British summertime. And that will be the 31st of April, right? Nope. 1st of May, because we don't have 31 days in April. I love you guys so much. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah, take care.